Hey guys, this is Matt Boley here, and I was making this video because I've seen a lot of fellow plumbers making many mistakes with their business. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what to invest in the future, what's not working, and I wanted to go on maybe a 1 minute rant of what I've been seeing from fellow plumbers. So after my rant, I'll get into the good stuff, but before that, I want to explain something. So I've heard a lot over the years. I've talked to a lot of different plumbers. I've seen what's worked for our company. I've seen what's not worked for our plumbing company. One of the biggest parts is I hear is I'm busy. I'm just too busy. I can't take on any more work. I don't know how to expand my business. And then a year later, I hear I have no work. I had to lay people off. Well, here's the thing: hire another plumber. Grow your company for sustainability purposes. Um, you know, don't not try to excel. A lot of people just get comfortable with, I have enough work for the week. I'm done. I don't want to hire another plumber. It's too tough. It's really not that hard. You can get on a lot of different free sites. You can look on places, start interviewing some plumbers now. Again, figure out how you're going to excel, because these one man, handymen, or these one to two truck plumbing companies in the future, people are not going to they're not going to hire you. They're just making it harder and harder and harder every single year. That kind of brings me to my next point. What happens in 2 years when, for example, a lot of you saying, I just take word of mouth, it's word of mouth. But here's the thing: it's 2019 and people are trusting people less every single day. And what that means is the neighbor's not going to take the other neighbor's word for it and say, yeah, just go ahead and give this plumber a call. No, they're going to do their due diligence. They're going to get online. They're going to look at reviews. Some of these plumbers don't even have websites. I've seen some plumbers that just have Facebook pages. They have their reviews disabled because they have so many bad reviews. I mean, that's not a sustainability move for an owner. So again, that's part of my rant here. Set up something that's predictable. Set up something that's sustainable for your company and your employees, because if you don't, that means you really don't care about them. You don't care about putting food on your table. You're not caring about your kids' lives later on in life. I mean, this is something that you have to take serious. And a lot of the plumbers that I've been talking to, they just don't take seriously. Predictability isn't saying I'm going to wait for someone to call me because they know another person. The son ordered, got plumbing services, and then said, yeah, mom, I used this plumbing service. He was good. No, you can't just wait for word of mouth. You have to take action. You have to build your company, and that means predictability. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's working for us, what we have done. As you can see here, this is a company that started out at 0 leads. It was a plumbing company. This is not my plumbing company, not Mr. Local. Mine's actually even getting more than this. I'm not having to invest this much because I know how to do the work. But this is what they're investing. This is where their lead cost is. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about how and why this worked. So again, this started off at 0 approximately 2 years ago, at 0 leads in this particular sector here. There was getting leads in a couple other ways, different sources, mainly PPC, but it wasn't showing a good return on investment. So we were back at 0, right, on this organic side. And this is sustainability. This is predictability. This is how you grow a company properly, not by, again, waiting for someone to refer you. So let's go into this. Most people, again, that have websites that want to build their company the proper way, I'll show you where you need to be. And you need to be, when we type in a term, you need to be right here. This is where you need to be. If you're not in this particular section, then you're having to come up here. You're having to pay Google for, every single one of these calls, which, by the way, this works. This is called Google Home Services. This works. However, look at the companies that are in here. They're all large companies. They stay here pretty much all day. They're not going to rotate to some of you guys that are smaller. You might get 1 or 2 or 3 calls in this Google Home Services every month, unless you're in a city or a population that's very low and there's not a lot of this, these bigger companies that are just kind of overtaking the market and dominating your market. Your next section, here's your PPC section. Great. Hard to get a return on investment for people that don't know what they're doing. This can take several months before you're starting to get leads in at, say, $10 to $40 a lead. This is great, but not your highest return on investment. Highest return on investment, it's going to be terms like this. As you can see, not many people actually type in the word plumber in DC. They're probably typing in, terms like DC plumber. We come down here, DC plumber, these particular terms, DC plumbing services. Anyways, just terms like that. And by the way, yes, these are the same owner. So we are dominating this is called a map pack area. So we're dominating this in one of the most dense cities in all of the United States. So these terms that I'm showing you, these are the most difficult terms to show up for in the entire United States. There's no other city in the United States that's more dense than these particular 2 areas. So if I can do it, you guys can do it too. You guys can, figure out what you need to do in order to get here. If you can't do it yourself, find someone that can help you do it. Be careful. Obviously, there's a lot of scam artists out there. There's a lot of companies that scam you. Again, I'm not trying to make this a sales pitch. We do help people, but we're very limited to who we help and who we take on. So, chances are you may not even be able to get in with us. To make a longer story short, I want to talk about what's not working. So this, obviously, going back to this, look at some of these numbers, and I'm going to break this down for you before I go any further. So we've seen 477 calls, right? So let's say they close a third of them. That's 157 projected jobs that they're going to get. Average plumbers pulling in about $450 in any market. Some markets are a lot higher than this. If you get a couple sewer jobs in here, your revenue is going to be a lot higher than this projected revenue, obviously, with 157 calls. If you're not closing 1 out of 3, you're not a very good salesman, because I have heard of many plumbers who are closing 8 out of 10 jobs, 9 out of 10, or your prices are just too high. Again, you don't want to go in too low, obviously, just to win the job, because then your projected revenue isn't going to be high enough. But on $4,673, the return on investment was 1,515%. Not bad for, again, 1 month. And by the way, this is sustainable. This is actually a low number. This particular plumber here, he hit 1,571 calls in a winter month. So again, low number, but still a great projected revenue. And this is sustainable. We're sustaining for this particular site around 500, 600 calls. This was a low month. So I didn't want people to say, no, there's no way this is possible. Yes, this is possible. This is what happened in 2 years. Within a year, we were hitting around 300 calls. And now this is an every month occurrence. And again, this was a slower month. But I wanted to do this because this is a believable number to a lot of you. If I did one on 1,500 calls, you guys wouldn't believe it. But yes, that's what we hit in January. So $70,000 on one of his sites. So one site. This wasn't the second site. This wasn't another area. This was one website. So again, predictability, sustainability, the tactics I showed you, which are, SEO, PPC, Google, which is Google AdWords. Another tactic that I want to talk to you guys about, say you own an HVAC company, because I know a lot of you guys do. It doesn't so much work for plumbers, but Facebook ads are great for HVAC. If you want to sell units, you can get, you can get a lead, set up a lead form and get, $15, $30, sometimes $40, and you're walking into the person's home and now you're in their door. They're interested in a new HVAC unit. You can sell them on that particular unit. If you're not selling, you're not making money off of even at $40 a lead, then I would say hire a salesperson. Give them a small percentage of the return on investment and have them go in, because you should be closing these jobs. I know that's hard and difficult for some of you, but if you want to grow a business that's large, making several millions of dollars per year, this is what you have to do. You have to figure out your strong points. Are you a salesperson? Are you the person doing work? Or are you the person running things? You can't do all three. And if you're doing all three, you're spreading yourself too thin and you're set up for failure. So again, I know you have to do it when you're a one-man crew getting to a certain point, but again, find your strong suit and figure out what you want to do in your company. And after you figure out what you want to do, make sure you're doing it. Put the proper people in place to know, what their strong points are and what your weak points are to cover for you. So let's get into what's not working. One of the things that I'm going to tell you guys right now that's not working is this. A lot of you guys are utilizing this too much. And I'll tell you what's going on. A lot of people are telling me they're in a large lawsuit. Most of the time, I've tried it, say, for example, you buy 8 leads, 2 people are only picking up the phone. You're lucky if you get half, if it's 4. Some of the people that do pick up the phone and you say, hey, Home Advisor just sent me over this lead. I was calling you. I called you within 15, 20 seconds. And guess what? They already had a plumber come out yesterday. It's an old lead. Or, yeah, sorry, this is the same lead that was already on Yelp or Angie's List or Thumbtack or whatever it was. It's like Home Advisor's reselling these leads. So this is not predictability. This is not sustainability, because something else, I'll tell you what's happening here, is after you burn up part of your budget, they're not, and say you have it set on $2,000 a month, right? They're going to send you as much as they can for the first week, and then you're going to be dead for the third week and possibly even the fourth week. They give you all the work at once, and then after they burn up most of your budget, they'll say, okay, he had $2,000 for the month. Let's just go ahead and send him $1,500 in leads, and we'll give him $500 for the rest of the month. So now you're trying to get leads and you're struggling. You're not sure what's going on with Home Advisor because they're not sending you leads. And then you're forced to, push it up, push your budget up, keep pushing it up. And this whole time you're trying to fight Home Advisor to get your money back for the leads that aren't converting because no one's picking up the phone. And the next thing is, where do you think Home Advisor gets their leads from? It's from here. It's from Google. Look at this. You have Home Advisor, you have Yelp, you have Angie's List. They're getting their leads directly from Google. People sign up for this, but 9 times out of 10, they're getting their leads from Google, or they have a lead generation service that's providing the leads. And I'll tell you the bad thing about this. The worst part about this is that when Google started to do their home services, their goal is to knock out their competitors. Their goal is to knock Home Advisor out. So you have Home Advisor over here that's charging X amount of dollars, for a lead, and then they're ripping you off half the time. And you have Google here who's guaranteeing you leads. So this section's great again, but you're not going to get a lot of leads from it. But the problem is Google's making it much more difficult for companies like Home Advisor to advertise. Every year they've made it much more difficult, and now they have certain requirements when you're doing ads. They're banning ad accounts. Every year Home Advisor has went down on the amount of people that they have utilizing their business. So what do you think is going to happen in 2, 3, 4 years down the road? Home Advisor is drying up. Angie's List has gotten so bad that they're still charging the same amount of money, but you might trickle calls in. I would say the best one out of all of them, but you have to invest a lot of money, is going to be Yelp. And the problem with Yelp is, if you don't have any reviews starting off on Yelp, if you're not 65 reviews, 66, whatever it is, like this person here, I guarantee you, who are you going to call? I'm going to call the guy with 65 reviews, 66 reviews. But in the very beginning, this guy starting out, do you know how rough it is for 2 reviews? Do you know how rough it has to be for him to get work? Because there's a guy here with 66 or 65 reviews. So Yelp's already been dominated. Unless you want to drop $20,000 starting out just to build your reviews up, because How many people are going to leave reviews? Maybe a tenth of them. So 1 out of 10 is leaving you reviews. This guy might have already purchased 650 worth of leads. You can't, and this is not something, and I know a lot of you guys go in and try to fake it. They have the most strict review system in the entire world. Good luck trying to fake a review on Yelp, because it might go up for a day or two or even a month, but they're going to find out and they're going to take it down. You can't fake these. And most of the time they're calling them up. So again, not sustainable, not practical for somebody starting out. And this, even here at this, Yelp is still in direct competition with, yet again, Google. So what do you think is going to happen? Google's objective is to dominate the market in everything that they do. Eventually, they're going to make it harder for Yelp to advertise, for Angie's List, for Home Advisor, for Thumbtack, for all of these different websites. They're going to make it harder. This is sustainable. Think Google. Think I need to be in the 3-pack. Think I need to be here. I need to be here. This is predictability. This is not predictable. This has gotten worse every single year. So again, guys, I know I'm going over this and I'm saying the same stuff twice, 3 times, 4 times, but a lot of you guys don't understand, and that's why a lot of your plumbing companies are failing, or maybe they'll do good for a year or 2 or 3 and all of a sudden they just drop. It's because you guys are investing too much into this and not in what's long term. So I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know that, definitely think about what you're doing. Think about the longevity of your businesses, and think about how you're going to be able to grow them down the road. Not what you're going to do tomorrow, not what you're going to do in a week, because that's not sustainable and that's not predictable. If you don't have those 2 parts, solved for your business, it's going to fail. So again, my name is Matt Boley, and I made this video again just to help you guys out. No sales pitch involved here. I just wanted to, again, give you guys information that's going to, help in the future for building your business and making it stronger. So thanks a lot for your time, guys, and have a great day. I hope this helped.